Hey everybody, it's Joy Packard. It is a Thursday evening. I finally have some time to get on and say hello to you. I have been working so hard on trying to get some things going, and they're finally going. And I have been watching my 3-month-old grandson, and I finally got him to sleep. So I finally have some time, like I say, to be on here with you all. I miss sharing messages with you, and I'm super excited about relaunching my podcast. We already have like 20 episodes, from before. And so I actually recorded an episode tonight. And so I'm going to try and start making that like a weekly, maybe even daily, short 8 to 10 minute, podcast episodes that you can listen to. And I've decided, and I kind of, looked back and thought, why haven't I uploaded some episodes? And you know why? Because I'm such a perfectionist and I didn't want it to load without getting everything perfectly. But you know what I'm going to do now? I have just been freely recording them and not even editing them. And so you're just going to get the full raw version from now on. And I just decided, I was listening to this one friend of mine who does podcasts, and he just does that's what he does. He just records it, and then he doesn't even go through and edit or anything. And I thought to myself, if that's what's stopping me, then I need to just go on and move on. And so it's a great lesson to be learned, for all of us, and a lot of things in in our business or in our everyday life, to where why don't we do certain things in our life? And a lot of times it's because we are wanting it to be perfect before we release it. We want the video to be perfect. We want, everything to be perfect. I've seen some amazing marketers out there, and there's been some misspelled words on their sales letter, but you know what? It didn't stop them. And so, what is it that stops us from moving forward in a lot of things in our life? And that's exactly what I was thinking about all day today. And that episode that will be uploaded soon. And by the way, also, I had an editor that was doing, my podcast stuff, and it was taking a long time. And then I don't even know where he is anymore. And so we're just going to try and upload as soon as, like, within a day of recording. So it's going to be so exciting. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's called the Joy Reveals Podcast. I actually just created a Facebook page so that you can see the episodes that are on there if you want to watch it on Facebook, or you can just listen to it, with an audio. It's not a video podcast. It's more like an audio podcast. But we are right now on the iTunes and the iTunes Apple Podcast app, and we're also on the Stitcher app for Android. But there's Pandora, there's iHeartRadio, there's probably about 10 other streaming communication channels that we can put it on. And we're going to start doing that. So I'm pretty excited about it, because I feel like, this is just something that I've been wanting to do. And it kind of ties in with the retreats that I'm going to be wanting to do in the future. And so I was looking at the analytics and the stats of the podcast. And it's so interesting, because even though it's been out for a year and a half and it's kind of gone inactive for a while, there's people from all over the world. And so, if you've ever thought about starting a podcast, it's a pretty amazing way to get whatever you want to say out there to the world. And, what's really exciting is in about a week and a half, I'm going to actually be bringing on somebody and interviewing her. She's amazing. And you're going to be able to see, she talks a lot about organizing and decluttering and how that can bring energy back into your life. And so I'm going to be bringing her live. We'll do a Facebook Live to talk a little bit about it, and then we will record a podcast. And so I think that's so crucial. I've been doing that for the last 6 months of my life, and I've just been decluttering, decluttering my Gmail folders, decluttering my rooms, my office, my house, just everything. And so I think that this is going to be such an awesome person to interview. So the whole podcast has to do with, travel and biohacking and, it's just basically how to become the best version of yourself. Basically, it's saying, we're going to interview people on health, wealth, and just becoming the best version of yourself, and some travel hacks and such. So it's really interesting because, it's just a variety of different topics that can apply to you in so many ways. And so, like I say, if you haven't listened, I'll put the page below in the comments, and I'll also put the links, for the iTunes where it's at. And so if you're listening to the podcast, it's awesome if you would subscribe and, leave a review, and also share it, because it really helps, the show to be ranked higher. So anyway, there's just so many things, like that I've been really contemplating, and there's a lot of things in my heart, that I want to share. And like I say, today, the episode was about a little less than 10 minutes long, but it was interesting because it's talking about just getting started and just getting over your excuses and doing things, even though they're not ready, they're not perfect. And that's kind of, what I started thinking about today, that, every episode doesn't have to be exactly perfect. I'm just going to release it. A lot of times I've taken a lot of podcast courses, and, they talk about having a script, and that's great and everything, but I have a really hard time doing it that way. So I basically do the podcast like I'm doing it right now with you. It's just on the fly. I just, talk about whatever is in my head, whatever's in my heart, whatever is going on in my life at that moment, or at this moment. And so it's pretty exciting for that to happen. And like I say, we're going to be bringing on several different people from many different things, many backgrounds, and it's just going to be amazing again, because I've been trying to get back to this, like I say, and I'm finally getting back to it. And when we make something important in our life of what we want to be doing, then we will make that effort. Hi, Samantha. Thank you so much. And it's good to see you on here. And so I am super excited, because it is something that has been on my heart, to share the messages that I have. And so people like Samantha Faye will bring on. She's an amazing lady. If you guys don't follow her, you need to follow her. She has so many amazing things that she does. And, there's certain people in my life that are super special, and they have certain programs that I went through. And I actually went through one of her programs about 1.5 years ago, and it literally changed my life. And so she's an amazing lady. So we bring on amazing people like that, and like people who I interact with. And I am super happy to, I guess, I've taken on a role as connector, to where I'm connecting brands to influencers. And it's just a piece of my business that I have been starting to do. And so I'm excited about that. And so it kind of, also, I guess, comes into play with the podcast stuff, and I haven't really, decided to do the podcast video, but it is a podcast audio. So, anyway, I'm just saying that, I've been really doing a lot of journaling. I have this one here, and I basically, have been writing down my thoughts. I'm such a visual person. And hi, Mary, how are you doing? And I have in here all of my thoughts about the next 3 months. It's called Q4, like with Amazon and e-commerce. And, I do have a part of my business where I do e-commerce still. And it's so awesome for me to just like see it, to put it down like in a mind map and put it down in a journal and do it that way. And so I feel super, good about it as far as like my plan and stuff. And so yesterday it was interesting because along with all this stuff, I've been, putting meditation back into my life because it's so badly needed at this time in my life, especially. And I meditated twice yesterday. It was crazy. I never get to do that. And I'm taking care of a 3-month-old grandson. So if I can do that and fit it in, I know you can. And so, I did it in the morning and I did it in the night. And so, whatever it is in your life that you want. Hi, Gab. How are you doing? Thank you, Mary. Whatever it is in your life that you want to happen, you will make the space and make the room to do so. It's interesting because, I have all these different things that I want to do and stuff. And like, it's the things that I really want to focus on. I'll give you an example. My daughter, Selena, we just brought her up to Utah a month or so ago. And, she has a Jeep. And ever since she has this Jeep, it's like every time I'm driving now, I noticed the Jeeps, which I would never have before. And it's because, I was doing some, looking around with her and, for the parts and everything. And suddenly all of these Jeeps start popping out at me. Why? It's because it's like what is in my head, what I'm thinking about, right? And so like whatever it is in your life, like for me, my podcast, my different e-commerce things that I'm trying to do, it stands out and it becomes something that you live and breathe. It's just so interesting to me. And so I am just super excited about this notebook right here that I've been working on every single day. And it includes, time for myself, the meditation, the journaling again, and things like that. Because, it's so interesting also too, is like when we know that something is good for us and for our health and we don't do it. And I was thinking about that the other day. We know we're supposed to, do meditation, at least for me. I'm talking about my own life, meditation and exercise and things like that. And then we get away from it for whatever reason. Life gets in the way. We have different things that are happening, but then we get back to it. So this week I made a goal and I said, you know what? No matter how tired I am or no matter what happens, I'm going to get my 30 minutes of some sort of exercise in. And again, I'm watching a 3-month-old grandson. And so if I can fit that in my schedule, so can you. And so whatever it is, for you, it's like, whatever it is for you that you want to be focusing on. It's interesting because when you put it where you can visually see it, when you meditate about it, when you think about it and you put it down, it's almost kind of like it just becomes a part of you every single day. And so, and then also I was, I'll share with you this, and that is like, I got this email and I forgot his name, but he talks about how the most important part of his day he gets done in the morning. And, I was thinking about like the first 6 hours or 6 hours, 3 hours of the morning or whatever. If I didn't have my 3-month-old grandson, I'd be on more of a schedule where I'm, waking up. But that if I have undivided time where I am like focused, I can get my scripture reading in, I can get my journaling in, my meditation in, my exercise in, if I really wanted to, because I'm thinking about it and it's like the first thing in the morning that I could do. And thanks, Gab. I appreciate that. And so he is the youngest and number 14. But anyway, sorry, I was just trying to see if he was crying actually, but it's not, it's a car outside. But anyway, so yeah, whatever it is in your life, whether it's your health or whether it's your, during this pandemic times and trying to get back on, what do I need to be doing as far as like, my home business or whatever it is. It's like when we put it in our brain and we think about it and we pray about it and we talk about it and all that kind of stuff. It's just interesting to me, the results. And so also whenever we're talking about that, it's interesting the people that show up in your life when they do. And this has happened to me time and time again. Maybe I'm wanting to do more of this. And then I remember, like I say, a few years ago, there was a Dallas retreat that was like in July or something. And then I was going up to Dallas with my sister and her husband and my husband. We were going to go watch Donnie and Marie in Dallas. And then this retreat was like literally fell a few days after. And it just like kind of, and it was like interesting when I saw it because it was like, it came up on my feed right when I needed to see it. And I ended up going there and I ended up meeting Samantha Faye, which she was on earlier. And so, you just meet amazing people. And it's like, when you put it out there as to what you want to be accomplishing, it's like things show up in your life and people show up in your life. And whatever it is that it needs to be done to get that task or that, whatever it is that you're trying to do. It's just so cool. And she's still here. And so I just, ever since that time, I was like, it was just such a, like, it was not a coincidence that I was there. And, if the only reason that I was there was to meet somebody like Samantha, then it was amazing. Right. And so we just meet these people and we connect. And then, like I say, I was specifically looking for something in my business. And then I got an email about it. It was just interesting. And I was like, oh my goodness, this goes hand in hand. This is the tool that I needed. And this is what I needed to make this go forth. And so, even though like, everything is not like perfectly in place, and just like from the very beginning of this video, like if you are doing a podcast recording, I'm not going to worry about every single little or breath I take in between and fix it. I'm doing it raw and it's just going up. And so I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm just excited about just moving forward. Man, I keep hearing whether it's a baby or not. Anyway, so again, if you are listening to podcasts and stuff, I always like in the morning, when I'm getting ready, I listen to these short podcasts, and I like the shorter ones for me better, because it's like I don't have a lot of time. And like I'm like, okay, I can get ready and do my hair or whatever and be done in 10 minutes, and I've already listened to a podcast, and then the baby's crying or whatever. Now we will bring people on. I do have some people on there. Like I think I have like 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 actually interviews, and those are a little longer. They're like 45 minutes long or so, because I'm interviewing somebody. We're talking about their expertise and things like that. And so I know one of them was an incredible one, and it was talking about frequencies, the frequencies that we are in, with love and all these kind of things. And so it's so interesting. You should go listen to that. But there's just pretty much everything that's there. And it kind of stair steps on each other. But the whole gist of the whole podcast is, about health and your just different things like that, to just help you to become a better person, to help you become the best version of yourself, which I strive every single day, and I know there's days when it's easier than others. And there's days when I'm just like, I just don't want to do anything today. I'm just going to take a nap. I did that the other day. I was so tired, and I just said, you know what? I'm just going to take a nap today, and it's okay. And I used to like beat myself up whenever I did that. And I'm just realizing that, we have to listen to our body. We have to listen to, what it's saying to us. And if I'm exhausted because I wake up all night with babies, then at 2 o'clock, if I need to take a nap, I take a nap, and I feel so much better. And I just, and I say to myself, you know what, when I'm going through this journal, and I'm going through my notes, and I'm like, okay, this particular, task that I was doing, even though I didn't do all of it, it's like I did something. For example, I needed to set up an Etsy account, to connect with my Shopify store and stuff. And that was kind of a big deal, to do some of the things, but it happened. See? And then so the next day you do the next task. And before you know it, if you're doing a little bit every single day, even if it's only like 15 minutes, it's still something going toward your goal rather than doing nothing, right? And so for me, I've just learned that over the years to be like, okay, even like just with exercise, or with trying to be healthier, you're like, all right, they tell us to drink green smoothies and we have to run marathons, we have to do this. No, it's kind of like today I was talking to my son today, and I said, can you just like watch for the baby for like 20 minutes? Cause I'm going to do like a 20-minute workout, and just so I could get it in. And so 20 minutes was better than like nothing at all. So I think a lot of times we beat ourselves up because we had this big goal that says, this is where I want to be. And like every single day, if you did 15 things to try and get there, but you didn't get the 16th, 17th, 18th task done, then you think, oh man, I'm a failure. And that's not the case. It needs to be that, wow, I got this account up. I talked to the baby for an hour. There's just if you focus on a lot of the things that like you did accomplish, it's so amazing. And then you celebrate those successes. So anyway, it has been awesome to connect with you. It's really hard to get on here sometimes because, like I say, I've had the baby. But last night I actually came live with the baby. And so I'm just wanted to, let you know about the podcast again that's relaunching. And I'm not really doing like a big relaunch. I'm just starting to do episodes again. And they're going to be, some of them will be short and sweet, and and then some of them will be longer when we interview people. And so I am feeling like super excited because it's like I'm seeing a lot of this stuff come to fruition. And it's like, okay, this is all these things, but I'm not doing all these things, I'm just doing some of them, and it's making me super happy. One of the things I did, and I'll leave this with you, is I heard this song the other day, and it was called, what was it called? Place of Healing. And I put it by the piano because I wanted to learn it. And it was amazing. It's this amazing song about how each of us and all of us are not perfect. And it's, we all have the different things that we want to be doing, and thinking about, all of the things that we do wrong sometimes, and that it makes us feel so bad that we don't want to move forward. And so the song is called Place of Healing, and I have been listening to it, and it came onto again, it's one of those things that came onto my feed, and I downloaded it, and I searched out if I can get the piano music, and now I want to learn it. And so tonight I was learning just a piece of it, and so it's just those little stepping stones to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Hi Jeanette, how you doing? Gab, yes, the link is actually in, I will post it again in the comments, but thanks for asking. And I'm excited about not just being on Apple iTunes and the Stitcher and the Stitcher app. We're going to do, all of them, because I have a software that I've had that actually posts it to like Pandora, Spotify, all the other ones like Podbean and things like that. So I'm pretty excited about that, because I was just so inspired when I looked at the analytics. I'm like, people are listening to this podcast, even though it's a year and a half old, or I haven't uploaded an episode, in like all these countries all over the world. So like I said, if you are like, I have a message, and I need it to get it out to the world, how is the best way? There's email, there's ads, there's all of these different things, but it's like a podcast. It's like you just make an episode and upload it, and suddenly you have people in Czechoslovakia that are listening to you. And so I know that I have a message in my heart. And every single day, as you guys know, I have to share it. And so that's the best way to do it. So I will post the link in the comments. I appreciate you guys for being on here tonight. It's so good to connect with each of you. And it's good to see a lot of you on here and spending your evening with me. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Take care. Bye.